Hey everybody, Mike Shreve here, and welcome to this training. I am super excited to have you with me here. We have a lot to cover. This is going to be a really good training for those of you who are struggling maybe a little bit to figure out what to offer to potential clients. You're maybe having conversations with people, but they're not really interested in what it is that you're offering them. What we're going to be covering today is a potential service that you can add to whatever else it is you already do. Okay, not only that, but what I'm going to teach you is actually something that if you do it for yourself, it will help you to get clients. Okay, so basically I'm teaching you a skill that you can use for yourself or for other people. It's a critical component to basically B2B style stuff. So if you're somebody who serves maybe you do massage therapy, this isn't going to help you. If, however, you're kind of a little bit more open, maybe you do something like videography or photography or writing or design, or maybe you coach others on certain things, whatever that might be, this is going to help you. Now, two things about our training today. One is it's going to be very low tech. Don't expect fancy design from the slides. As you can see here, we're in Google presentation. I'm not even going to go full screen because we have to do a lot of over the shoulder stuff today. So I apologize for the lo-fi sort of presentation of it. The second piece here is that I am a little under the weather, so if you hear weird pauses, it's because I'm secretly in the background, turned away from the microphone, probably coughing a little bit, so I do apologize for that. But let's get into this training. I'm very excited to have you, so let's go ahead and rock and roll. Okay, here's what we're going to be covering today. First, I'm going to give you an overview of what the method is, sort of how it works, why people want to purchase it, how it sort of works all together in the grand scheme of freelancing and growing business and all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to teach you how to perform this service. We're literally going to go step by step. It's so simple. It's really only two big steps that you do together. And then after that, I'm even going to do some over-the-shoulder training as well to literally show you, have me do it for you in real time. And then we're going to talk about advanced methodologies. For those of you who are in the No Pants Project coaching program, I would highly recommend that you take a second look at these advanced strategies. For those of you who are not, there'll be some good ideas, but you may need a little bit more context. But I'm really honestly going to try and give you as much as I possibly can to make sure that you have as many tools at your disposal as possible in today's training. And for those of you wondering if there's going to be anything for sale at the end of this, no, there's not. So please do go ahead and put those wallets away. We're just going to be doing training. Number 4, after we get the how to get better results and higher fees sort of advanced methodology, I'm going to go to an advanced methodology where you can not only use this as a basic service, but you can sort of take all of the effort that you're going to be putting towards a client or even towards yourself and turn this into a larger play, sort of like a public relations play. I'll explain it all when we get there, but this is sort of like advanced next level stuff that you could literally add on as even an additional service to what I'm going to be sharing with you. I'll explain it all later, but that's what we're going to be doing. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about how to get clients with this method, what to charge, how you present it, and all that kind of good stuff. So let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. So first is an overview of this method, which we're calling the superpower of omnipresence, okay? What you're going to be learning here today is how to deliver the gift, and it is a legitimate gift to clients, this gift of omnipresence. Now, what in the heck is omnipresence? Why is it so effective? Why would clients ever want it? How is it solving a pain point? I want you to take a look at this slide here. On my left, it should be your left as well, you can see a logo of a famous coffee shop. And then on the right-hand side, you can see a logo of a coffee shop near me. Now, I think most people watching this, if I maybe actually finished and completed the logo, I took the words off purposefully of this particular logo to not give it away, but on the left-hand side, this is the Starbucks logo. A lot of people recognize it. They are a very large company, and they are a very profitable company. On the right-hand side is the logo of a local coffee shop, which, because I know some people who are connected with this coffee shop, and I won't give the name away, are not as financially well off as Starbucks, right? Maybe they're even having a difficult time. And I want to show you something what the sort of goal I'm wanting you to take away from this experience here is that you as a consumer know Starbucks. And the reason you know Starbucks is because of something called omnipresence. If you recognized this logo, it's because the people behind Starbucks purposely practiced and put into play this thing called omnipresence so that, and we're going to talk about exactly why, but so that they could be more profitable. And this is exactly what you're going to be doing for your clients, okay? Now, I want you to see something here. There's a couple of things to understand about the core fundamentals of omnipresence. One is that omnipresence, in boiled down into very simple language, is essentially this idea that everywhere you go, there they are. Okay, look at how many Starbucks are in this. This isn't even a 15-minute drive, okay? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Starbucks within a maybe 15-minute drive radius near where we live. That's the Columbia River there and on the Oregon-Washington border and all that kind of good stuff. And the thing about it is that not only are there that many Starbucks, but there are that many profitable Starbucks. That's how powerful their omnipresence is. And if you're like, Mike, I don't fully understand what omnipresence is, don't worry, we're getting to it here quickly. I just want to show you what Starbucks is able to do because of omnipresence. And then I also want to show you that because they do this, that's how they achieve omnipresence. Also, you've seen Starbucks in films, right? There's Sleepless in Seattle, there's Miss Congeniality, one of my favorite movies, I Am Sam. Starbucks is everywhere you go. Starbucks is everywhere you go. And that is, in a nutshell, omnipresence. Okay, so let me show you. Omnipresence is essentially being everywhere all the time, being the easiest option, and being a familiar friend. Okay, this is what omnipresence is, and this is the gift that we're going to give to our potential clients. We are going to, for less than $1 a day of their investment, plus the fee that they pay you, you are going to allow them to be everywhere all the time. And because you're everywhere all the time, they are going to become the easiest option for people to choose from, and they're going to become a familiar friend to prospects. Okay, now let me talk about a couple things here. I want to give you another example of omnipresence and its effect on buying behavior, and why this is not only powerful for the clients that you do, but if you decide to practice the art of omnipresence, this is what's going to happen to you. These are two incredibly good horror writers, Stephen King and Peter Straub. I really, really like what both of them write. However, Stephen King is financially and even perhaps you could say professionally more accomplished by a very big factor than is Peter Straub. Now, how is that possible? Well, consider this. Stephen King has practiced the art of omnipresence since very early in his career as compared to Peter. So when Stephen King very first started writing and he very first started being interviewed for his writing, when he very first published his first couple of books, he was voracious about getting in the public spotlight, about having his name out there, about being what's called front of mind, meaning kind of everywhere you go, you hear about Stephen King if you're a reader. If you're a reader of any kind, and in sort of later on in his career, pretty much he built up a fairly large film reputation as well, because a lot of movies were based off of his books. But the thing about Stephen King is that he has practiced omnipresence. He is everywhere you go all the time if you are a consumer of fiction. And because of that, he becomes the easiest option. And here's what I mean. I want to paint this picture for you. If you are thinking about diving into horror for the first time, and maybe you're coming from fantasy or science fiction or some other, whatever thing, or whatever you like, crime movies or something, and you're like, I need a new movie. I think I want to watch a scary movie. One of the things that is very common in the purchase of a book is you go to the bookshelves and you start looking at the spines, right? You start looking at your options. Well, human beings are, for the most part, creatures of comfort. They do not like going outside of their comfort zone. And I think if you were honest with yourself, you would agree that you are the same. That on occasion, yeah, you like to try new things, but for the most part, you don't spend a great deal of your time pushing that envelope of discomfort. And so these regular human beings looking to sort of put their toe in the water of horror to try something new are feeling some kind of discomfort. Okay? And so what they do is they look for that familiar friend. They're looking for the option which feels familiar, which feels easy, and Stephen King has been repeatedly that option because he practices omnipresence, whereas Peter is a lot more private. He hasn't done a lot of movie work. He's not nearly as prolific as Stephen King, which is another thing we'll talk about here and how to expand prolificness through amplification. But the point is that oftentimes people who are making their first run into the horror genre will pick up a Stephen King book because they heard of him before they even got into horror. Now, why this matters is because if you have a client who is a pizza shop owner, the same buying process applies to people who are buying pizza as does buying or trying a new genre, okay? And what I mean by that is, imagine that you and your loved one are thinking about what to eat this Friday. And you're like, well, we should try pizza. Well, we should try a new place. Well, I don't know. I'm nervous to try a new place. I don't know if I should try a new place. What are you going to do? You're in that process of discomfort. You're trying to find a new solution to either a problem you have or a problem you made up. And so omnipresence works to, again, be everywhere all the time, which creates the easiest option because it's like, oh, let's just go with that because it's the feeling of a familiar friend. Let me break this down one more time for you so that you fully understand what omnipresence is. Omnipresence is the most powerful force in the galaxy because omnipresence is about convenience. When you help your client to be everywhere all of the time, by definition, it means they are going to be ultra convenient for their potential customers. Let me show you an example here really quick. Look at this map. If you are driving and you're looking for coffee, one of these companies is significantly more convenient. As a matter of fact, some of these Starbucks locations have drive-throughs. That's not an accident, okay? And part of Starbucks' strategy here is to be everywhere all of the time so that they can become the most convenient option because people in the West crave and love convenience. Again, we are not a species, we are not a group of organisms that thrive outside of comfort. We love comfort. We love electricity. We love the fact that we don't have to start a fire every time we want heat or light. Even though, yes, light is more effective and more efficient than starting a fire, you won't die if you don't have electricity. You'll just be massively inconvenienced, right? Or cars. How many people actively take the bus, take public transportation, ride their bikes, and walk? Not nearly as many people as drive a car. Americans love cars so much that they go into massive unnecessary amounts of debt to have a better, more convenient version of a thing that has an engine and four wheels? What about Netflix? I love this meme so much because Jumanji is actually one of my favorite movies. Walking outside after a Netflix binge. What year is it? Have you noticed how stinking convenient it is to watch Netflix as compared to Blockbuster? And what happened in that scenario? So many people flooded to Netflix, that they put an entire industry of movie rentals out of business. Blockbuster is no more. I think I saw a thing on Vice the other day that there's like one Blockbuster in Alaska that still operates or something, right? Or what about the drive-through? Food that's so convenient, it's not necessarily tastier. It certainly isn't better for you. It isn't even less expensive than a lot of food options. Certainly not less expensive than going to the grocery store and cooking yourself. However, again, drive-through. Now, I know that there are some of you watching this and you're saying, well, not me, Mike. And I can see you with your hands on your hips and you're like giving me the look. But here's the deal, okay? Here's the deal. You're wagging a finger in my face. Look, I hear you. There are two things I would say to you. Number one, maybe you aren't, but if you aren't like this, like obsessed with convenience, you are an exception. And businesses very rarely succeed betting on the exception. Instead, they bet on the rule. So if you want a superpower that helps companies, what you have to do is help companies become the everywhere all the time easiest option that feels like a familiar friend, aka the most convenient option to purchase from. Okay? So again, first off, I totally understand that not everybody is into convenience, but most people are. And if you can help a company or a business or someone else be the most convenient option for potential buyers, you will give them an unbelievable gift, and their sales will soar, their customer loyalty will go up, etc., etc. There's a lot of things and a lot of benefits from being the most convenient. So the first one is bet on not the exception. And then number two is I would actually challenge you, and I bet there are serious areas in your life where convenience is a massive play into the decisions that you make. Okay, so you can help clients achieve Starbucks level omnipresence to the people that matter to them. And this is the key. Omnipresence in 2018 doesn't mean going out and blasting everyone in the world with mega ads during the halftime of Super Bowl. What it means is identifying very clearly who the core group of people are that matter to that particular business, and then to be omnipresent to them. Because again, you're going to be not only everywhere all the time and the easiest option and a familiar friend, but for these businesses, you're going to be building loyalty, building trust, building passion for the business, and you can do all of this for just $1 a day, meaning the client has to only invest $1 per day, and then on top of that $1 per day, they pay you a monthly fee, which we'll talk about at the end of this training. So I hope that you can see how powerful this is, this thing that we're going to be doing for people. Let's break down now how you actually perform this service, because that's super, super important. We can talk theory all day. Here's how you get results for people, okay? Now, don't make any judgments until we're all the way through as to whether you want to or don't want to do this, because you guys, this is so easy. This is so easy. Anyone can do it. I truly, honestly believe that, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So, number one is you need to create 10 to 20 pieces of content that people will enjoy. In a second, I'm going to show you exactly what the content is that you have to create, how you can make it, where you can find it, all that kind of good stuff. Number two, you post that content to your client's Facebook business page, okay? Not their personal page, their business page. I'll show you how to do that here in a second. Number three is you analyze the winners. I'll show you how to analyze the winners, because you make 10 to 20 pieces of content. Maybe 2 or 3 of them are actually going to work. Number 4, you take those pieces of content, you use the Facebook Boost button, so you don't have to get into Ads Manager. You don't have to use, well, they don't have the Power Editor anymore, so you don't have to use that. You don't have to know anything about Facebook ads except for what I'm going to share with you here. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes to set up, and all you do is you spend $1 a day on the right audiences, and I'll show you exactly what those audiences are and how you can find them in your client's Facebook page and all that kind of good stuff. And then all you simply do is you rinse and repeat until satisfied, adding new content as you or your client see fit. Now, a couple of things about this. One, what I'm teaching you, you can do for clients, but don't forget, you guys, you can do this for yourself. You can be the omnipresent freelancer for the thing it is that you do, and I'll show you how to do that as well today. But it's literally 5 steps. Create some content, okay? Basically take the shotgun approach. Like, don't overstress yourself what's going to work, what's not going to work. It's only $1 a day. 10 to 20 pieces of content. Post it to the Facebook page. Find out which one does best. Boost the winners for $1 a day, and then do it again and again and again. And what you're going to find with this process is that, one, first off, this clearly is a recurring service that you can offer, meaning you can get paid every month to do this over and over and over again, because the results will build. They'll build on $1 a day, $1 a day. We'll talk about stacking a little bit later, but how this all works is this is you helping your client to be everywhere all the time, to be seen as a trusted friend, and to be the most convenient option, okay? Literally what's going to happen is the people who interact with your client's business or with your business, every single time they get on Facebook, or at least every couple of days they get on Facebook, they are going to see something that they like or enjoy from your client or from you, right? If you're doing this for yourself. And that being top of mind automatically makes you convenient. It automatically makes it so that when the person's not on Facebook and they're having a problem in their business, let's say that you're trying to sell your freelancing services using this omnipresence training, and you're over here on your, or they're away from the computer, maybe they're in a business meeting and they're sitting there like, oh no, we need a designer, you guys. Does anybody know of a designer? Someone's going to raise their hand and they're going to say, you know what, there's this person that I see all the time on Facebook. Let's give her a try. Let's give him a try. And I'll show you exactly how that works right now. So I just want to show you the power. Just that simple act of being the most convenient is so powerful. People think that people buy logically. No, they buy using convenience, they buy emotionally, they buy what's the closest thing to them, etc., even and especially when hiring individuals, because the hiring process is quite difficult, and whenever they spend money. Okay, so we're going to use data-driven content, not just we're not even going to like worry about, are we writing the right content? We're going to write it, we're going to put it up, and we're going to figure out which is doing the best. Then we're going to use Facebook's targeted reach to create omnipresence. That's it. That means by definition, there are only 2 components to this service: data-driven content and Facebook targeted reach. What that also means is that you have now gotten out of the commodity market when talking to particular or potential prospects. Because think about this. What a lot of people struggle with is they are not, when they're having conversations with prospects, able to say or communicate how they help someone, or they don't have a service that helps someone. Instead, they have a service that describes what they do. I'm a writer. I'm a photographer. I'm a videography. Well, that's nice and that's wonderful, and I celebrate your creativity. I celebrate everything that you, but as somebody who's in pain, me being the client, what does that have to do with why I should give you money? Instead, now you come to them and you say, look, I use my abilities to write content, which Mike taught me how to do on this free training, and my ability to use Facebook's targeted reach, which Mike also taught me on this free program, to deliver something to you called omnipresence, which means we're going to see an increase in sales and loyalty and trust and etc. and etc. and etc. Now, when you first offer this to them, they're going to be like, that's exactly what I need. You get into a monthly relationship. They pay you a couple $100s a month to do this. And then you come back and you say, let's say that you're a writer and you want to sell email writing services. Then you come to them and say, hey, look, we're getting really good results, but I know how to make these results better. I know how to make these results better. One of the ways we can do that is we can build an email list off the back of this omnipresence, and I'll write the landing page, I'll write the Lighthouse, I'll write the emails, or maybe you're a designer. Look, we've been getting really great results, but I know how to make these results better. Why don't I redesign your website? Okay? To get you to take what's already working and to get you better results. Listen, I'm a photographer. These are going really, really well, but you know what we're really struggling with? The photos that we're using in this content just isn't that good. We could get so much better results if we just, when can we meet? Do you see how you can use this as a baseline? You can get into someone's business. You can, and we're going to talk about what kind of businesses you can serve and all that kind of stuff here in a second. But you can get into someone's business, get them results, and then you can start talking about I'm a writer, and here's how my writing is going to help you, and I'm a videographer, and here's how my videos are going to help you. All that kind of stuff. Okay, so this is the core of what we're talking about here. Now, the key to this is going to be content, because the Facebook thing is going to be so easy. You guys are going to be able to get this in like 2 minutes, even if you hate technology like I do, as you can tell from this presentation that looks super lame, right? I'm not really into design. I'm not really into technology. The key to this is going to be the content. So let's talk about the different content types that are required. I'll give you some ideas and I'll give you some tools as well. So there are 3 types of content that you're going to create between the 10 and 20. And some of you are going to be like, okay, how many of each should I do, Mike? I don't know. Shotgun it. See what your client has available. See what kind you want to make. And just make a good mix, because we're just throwing it out there to test. The first is entertainment content, which is essentially content that instructs in a way that is enjoyable, and I'll give you some examples as well as some templates for that. Number 2 is customer stories content. This is really fun, especially if you have a good client, meaning somebody who has a successful business, because this is fun for the clients, because when you start pushing these out at $1 a day, these customer stories based content, they're going to see the real, like, actual benefit of Facebook, and they're going to see these people getting really excited about their business. It's really, really cool. I'll talk about it here in a second. And then number 3 is the offer content. This is the stuff that you just sell. It's like, hey, a discount coupon or something. Okay, so this is it. Like, this is all you need to know right here of the half of what makes this service work. It's just 3 things. Entertainment content, so entertainment and teaching. I tried to, what are those things called? Palindrome? I don't know what they're called. Trying to make up a new word here. Customer stories content, offer content. Let's talk about customer or entertainment content, okay? Oh, I just am realizing now that you guys probably cannot see this. How embarrassing. Let me see if we, what happens if we do this? Oh, this will be weird. Oh my gosh. Okay. Here we go. We're going to zoom to fit, and then we're going to go zoom in a little bit. Okay, so here is the different content. I do apologize for that, guys. See how ghetto this is? Okay, first is just typical text with an image is totally fine, but this is an entertainment content. It's the 4 lies we hear every day in internet marketing land that needs to stop. And it's just like a list, right? One place that you can find a lot of entertainment content is here on BuzzFeed. I highly recommend you go check that out. 28 last-minute Mother's Day gifts you can still get on Amazon. Imagine if you were, one of your clients was an e-commerce client and they sold yoga stuff. 13 really weird yoga gifts for people who are obsessed with yoga, you know, something like that. So it's just very brief. These don't have to be long at all, right? So this is, I don't know, maybe 150 words, 200 words, doesn't take very, very long. And then a little meme here. I'm going to show you a really cool, really cool tool that I like to use. So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to search BuzzSumo search. Okay, BuzzSumo search, and click on buzzsumo.com. We're going to go try BuzzSumo for free today. Let's see if this takes me. No, that's not where I want to go. Let's click on this image here. That is weird that they want you to do that. Okay, now what we're gonna do is watch this. Let's say that I'm working with a yoga studio, like I said earlier, and I'm like, man, I need some content ideas for what am I calling it? Entertainment, right? All right, we're gonna go like this, and we're just gonna type in yoga. Let's just say. Okay, so what we're looking at here in BuzzSumo are the most shared articles based off of the keyword that we just searched. So if we have a yoga studio and we want to be able to replicate, we want to find out very, very quickly what's like the kind of content that people really, really love to interact with on social media, aka most shares, especially this number right here. Look at your Facebook engagements. That's much more important than Pinterest because we're running these on Facebook, okay? So that's important to know. Look at your Facebook engagements, and then here we go. Like best yoga position, or here's a good one. This one here. A comprehensive guide to the new science of treating lower back pain. So you would say, okay, one of the 10 or 20 entertainment, I need a better word, entertainment content that I'm going to be making for this method that we're talking about. Maybe it's 6 ways yoga treats lower back pain. And all you're doing is an article that looks like, hold on one second, that looks like this one here, right? 4 ways, see, I just took this idea, 4 ways that yoga treats lower back pain. 4 lies we hear every day, okay? And that's it, and you just write it here. And then maybe you have a picture of the person who is the studio owner, and there's a they're doing their yoga pose, right? Okay, so this is entertainment, the worst name for something I've ever heard in my whole life, and I'm the one who made it up. Okay, good to know. Let's see, fit. Okay, so that's a tool that I like to use. Again, BuzzSumo, and you can see, I mean, look, depending on your client's tastes, you adjust to what you found here. You can upgrade to Pro. I've never upgraded to Pro. I don't really care what the 35th level of, what the 35th most shared one is. I can usually get enough from the top here. So naked yoga picture and 5 simple ways. Maybe your client doesn't want to do that, but there's some best yoga positions, etc., etc. Okay. Let me just show you another example here. Let's say that you were still in the yoga niche, but you wanted to work with, or you were working with the e-commerce company that sold yoga pants. That's what I would type in there, right? So yoga pants for women. I'd literally just say what it is that my client does. Or let's say you do pizza shop. Let's literally just write pizza. Let's see. If you guys want to be sad about humanity, spend a lot of time searching stuff in BuzzSumo. Again, you guys are likely the exception to the rule, but you don't build a business based off the exception. I'm not saying that you go create Mario Batali misconduct pizza posts, but just keep in mind who it is exactly that people are what actually people are actually attracted to on a mass scale. So this one wasn't really good, but how about, let's say you could do best way to eat pizza. Might be one. So here we go. You could literally write a post on the scientific solution, a scientific formula for eating pizza the best way. And this is a pizza shop owner who is running this piece of content for $1 a day. There are going to be people who think that's hilarious. And when it shows up in their news feed, they're going to be like, this pizza company is awesome. They are so cool, right? Does that make sense? Okay. So anyways, you can play with that for hours. It's actually a super fun tool. Okay, so that's entertainment content. Let me give you some more content ideas that are along the lines of entertainment. So anything you can do to say X lies, so 5 lies that keep you from fitting into those yoga pants. That would be a great one for a company that sells yoga pants. They're just running this article on Facebook. Every time someone logs in, someone sees it. It's omnipresence, right? And you've got 10 to 20 articles just like that, okay? So maybe 7 lies that keep you from getting your best roses. Maybe you working with a garden shop and you want to help them grow their business, and so you do a little post, not a very long post, doesn't have to be crazy, on how to grow better roses. People will love that. They'll enjoy it. They will be grateful for it. They will share it with their friends. They will like it. They will comment on it. And you're just taking this piece of content and you're just showing it to people $1 every single day. And the ones that work, you keep. The ones that don't work, you ditch, and you just repeat this process. How to get really big calves without doing calf raises. Maybe you have a personal trainer as one of your clients and you're just running this for them in their, to their audience. We'll talk about that. But the people who are interested in this, they're going to love it. Again, another one is, hey, if you've ever experienced migraines, here's what to do if the migraines last more than 3 days. Maybe you have a massage therapist who specializes in minimizing migraines, or maybe you have maybe your client is a psychologist trying to get more clients. And so you can see how these are all different sort of starting points to write content that when people see it on Facebook, if they have this problem, they're going to be super happy that this landed in their newsfeed because it's just content. There's no tricks, there's no nothing here. It's literally just, hey, I'm the pizza guy, and if you've ever experienced soggy pizza, here's what to do next time the delivery guy shows up, or here's what to do next time you want to order a pizza, something like that. 7 reasons you aren't getting 7 reasons you aren't getting approval from the bank to file bankruptcy. Okay, you have a bankruptcy attorney. Maybe that's one of your clients. Maybe one of your clients is a fashion photography studio, and it says what no one tells you about hiring high-end fashion photographers, right? People who are interested in fashion photography, they're going to be like, ooh, what is it? What is the secret that nobody tells me about? Okay, so here's some entertainment content ideas. There's tons and tons more. Those of you who are in, I think, 45-day challenge, fast client getting workshop, the No Pants project, you all have access to our content and copy toolkit, which is more than 700 pages of this exact stuff. My recommendation is go to that. Content and copy toolkit is on the bottom left-hand side of all of your dashboards, and download it. It's all in PDF. You don't need to print it out, and just look through. There are literally hundreds of ideas just like this in that document, so you'll literally never run out of ideas for creating these posts. Okay, next is the customer success story content. I'm going to zoom in again because I'm a silly boy and I didn't think this one through all the way. Okay, so now we're talking about, now we're talking about customer stories content. All we're doing here is taking whatever stories your client has, and if they don't have a lot at first, that's okay. Maybe of the 20 pieces you create in the first month you're working together with this client, maybe they only have 1 or 2 stories. And maybe one of the stories is their mom loves their business and is willing to get on the video and say, oh my gosh, I love their little coffee shop. It's the best place. I absolutely love it. That's fine. And maybe if you're doing the omnipresence model for yourself as a freelancer, maybe you don't have any customer stories yet. That's fine too. The idea though is that as you continue to work with your clients, or as you continue to do this for yourself, that you're always looking for customer stories. The biggest thing you can do to add value to the customer, to add value to your client, or to improve your results using omnipresence for yourself, is to constantly be on the lookout for success stories. Specifically with your clients, to be constantly pressing them. Like every 2 weeks, hey, any new customer stories come in? Hey, what is our policy? How are you collecting customer stories? Like to push them. Yeah, the content you write will be great and that will be awesome, and that the enter-teachment content that you make is going to be wonderful and it will add value, but it's these customer stories that is going to bring them the biggest ROI on that dollar per day ad spend, because human beings are social creatures. They can have all the knowledge in the world that they should and can do something, but until they either see someone else do it, or until they see their friends are doing it or whatever, they will literally not do something. And they will not do something to the point of like changing their lives in a positive way, right? So for example, I've got 2 examples that I'm thinking of. Somebody who has potential heart disease, they research all the literature, they have all the information, they've read all of the enter-teachment content that exists out there, and they still don't do anything until their brother has a heart attack, and then they're like, okay, I need to change my ways, right? Or think about the breaking the 4-minute mile. Everyone thought it was impossible until one guy did it. He broke the 4-minute mile, and then in the next just like handful of years, tons of people were doing it. It was like they just the human mind is a social mind. So the customer stories content is your most critical. However, it's also the most difficult to make. So at first, you just start out with as many customer stories as you can. You do as many of the enter-teachment pieces of content to get the machine rolling, to get some results, etc. But until that point, do the best you can with customer stories. So here is an example of customer stories. It's very, very simple. All you have to do is, this is Scott Oldford. I do not like him. I've had conversations with him, and I don't mean to speak ill of people. You may have seen him online because he practices omnipresence actually really, really well. But from a personal standpoint, I've had conversations with him, so I am in no way endorsing him or saying that he is a good human. However, this is a very good example of omnipresence, and the way that he does it in this particular instance is ethical, and I would recommend following it. So all he says is, hey, you want to see inside of a messenger conversation between me and a business owner who joined the relevancy engine. I'm just making the assumption that this is an actual conversation. There are some people who fake these. Please don't be that person. Please don't fake something for a client, and sure as heck don't fake something for yourself. But this is very, very simple. He just said one line of what happened. He and his business partner smashed their previous record sales months within 30 days of joining the relevancy engine, okay? And then it's just a quick, hey, you can fill out an application here to do the thing. You could do this for a pizza company, right? Hey, you want to see what one of our customers says about our customizable pizzas? And blah, blah, whatever. Maybe it's a text, maybe it's a video, maybe it's a whatever it is. If you'd like to come join us, go ahead and click this link and get 50% off your next pizza, right? Or this one over here, which is really, really cool. This is from Ironman Italy. All this is in this Ironman Italy post is literally just people who took iPhone selfies doing the Italian Ironman selfie videos, and they just compiled it all together into like a 2-minute video. I don't actually know what this says, and it doesn't really matter because it could almost say anything. And there's an invitation when you click see more to go sign up for the next Ironman Italy. Okay, so this is customer stories. It's literally, this is my favorite content to make because you don't have to actually make anything. You don't really have to think. You just take the stories, you put them up, throw them up $1 a day, and there they go. Okay, so here is another one, which we don't need to zoom in for that. Okay, so here's some ideas for customer stories content. If you have a pizza place, maybe your client is a pizza place, one of the things you can do is give them share photos of a party they had. Maybe they did the trophy getting ceremony for the Little League or something. And the copy on that particular post might say something like, blah, 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 this is the Little League Tigers of 2018, and they're the state champs, and we were so happy to host them, and don't they all look wonderful and fun? And if you'd like to host a party at our pizza place, please give us a call at whatever, whatever. Okay? And you're just running that piece of content out $1 a day. And people are seeing it it's really, really cool. We'll talk more about the frequency and all that kind of stuff. Maybe you serve online coaches. That's simply sharing case studies, sharing testimonials. Maybe you were working with a veterinarian's office. Take a story of a rescued puppy with cute pictures. Talk about how the veterinarian loves puppies and all that kind of good stuff. What I love about this omnipresence model is that none of it is aggressive. So far, we've talked about give them some good content, and now we're saying tell them some stories. Nowhere here is try to convince them to buy or, bash it over their head. Because the reality is that with the omnipresence model being everywhere all the time and becoming a trusted friend, that can only happen, meaning it's very easy for people to become very annoyed by seeing something all the time, unless it's something they want to see. Someone will, here's a really good way to think about it. Someone will spend hours, obscene amounts of time, unhealthy amounts of time, in my opinion, binge watching something on Netflix. Okay? No problem. They'll completely lose track of time. Yet, if you sit them down to watch maybe something that will help them to grow their life in some way, they may not last 30 seconds, right? Because they're just I don't want to watch it. So we want to make sure that as best as we can, we don't come in hard with this particular style of growing businesses and helping businesses, but instead to be fun, be soft. This is social media, okay? E-commerce story. So maybe you have an e-commerce, maybe it's that yoga pants company that we were talking about. Have your client gather honest reviews, maybe via iPhone. Just say, hey, can you send out an email to your list of customers? Have them send in iPhone videos, and I'll put it all together because I'm a video editor, and we'll create a cool filtered Instagram style fun testimonial video, and that'll be one of our customer stories. Maybe you work for a garden store, you work with a garden store. Maybe you have customers do that same thing with their iPhone, except they're giving little tours of their garden. And then maybe the copy on that post says something like, our customers are super passionate about gardening. If you are also, come check us out, etc., etc. And if you're doing it for yourself, talk about your results, talk about case studies. Pretty similar to what the online coach would do is what you'll want to do as a service provider. Okay, so that is our customer stories content. So again, we've got entertainment content, which is just give them some information in a kind of fun, cool way. Use BuzzSumo to cheat if you can't think of ideas. Here's some content ideas. If you want the content and copy toolkit or you have it, use that as well. Customer stories content, pretty straightforward. Tell the stories of your customers or the customers of your client if you're doing this as a service. And then next is the offer content, right? So we've got this going out at $1 a day, this is going out at $1 a day, and this is going out at $1 a day, okay? Now the offer content is simply, I don't even need to really zoom in on this because all it is just, it's just a pitch. And that's all. And it doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be wild. This is literally, if you look at this one over here on the right, it's stop on a dime, save while you do it. Right now, get $60 off a standard brake service and additional $10 rewards by mail when you use your Tires Plus credit card. $60 off brake service. Click for the coupon. This is just a carousel ad with a bunch of different options and services, products to purchase from Faster Pakistan. Okay, so that's it. And the thing about this is, what you want to do is you want to, part of the omnipresence, see, here's a mistake that a lot of people make. People believe that the second you show them something that you want to sell them, people are going to run away. That's not true. Could you imagine if Starbucks had a bunch of stores where you could go get free Wi-Fi and free Wi-Fi and listen to their music, but they never let you buy coffee? They're like, no, we can't. We don't want to offend anyone. We don't want anyone to ever think that we're trying to sell them something. They would go out of business, right? Plus, the people who want coffee would go somewhere where the coffee shop sells coffee. So when you're running these offer contents, don't be shy and don't think that because you offer something, people are going to run away. Instead, what's going to happen is the people who want a brake service for $60 off, they're going to be like, man, I need to save this post for when I'm ready to get my brakes. Okay, maybe it might not be the right option for them in that particular moment, but they're going to know that this Tires Plus company, when it pops up every couple of days, like don't forget $60 off because you're running this at $1 a day. It might pop up every couple of days, might pop up every 2 weeks, might pop up every 30 to 60 to 90 days. I don't know. We'll talk about that here in a second. They know that, oh yeah, Tires Plus is that company who has the $60 off brake service. We should go hang out with them. We should go, not hang out with them. We should go hire them to do our brakes. Okay? So here's the thing with the offer content ideas. It's no secret. Just make the offer. Just put it out there. Whatever the offer is that your client has, put it out there and let it ride. Make it top of mind. If you're servicing somebody who's a psychologist, let them, you want their audience, you want the important people who matter to that business know that, hey, when you book a time with that therapist, that the first session is half off. Wow, okay. You want people to remember that. They've got so much other stuff going on in their life. If you want to help them, give them an opportunity to remember, okay? So all you're doing is running all 3 content types at $1 a day to the same small group of people, okay? So $1 a day for each. And we'll talk about stacking here in a minute. But first, we are going to talk about the delivery mechanism. How do we do all of this? Okay, so what I'm going to do is some over-the-shoulder action, okay? So I'm going to go to Mike Shreve, Work Smarter page. I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to jump into Business Manager. So if you're doing this for your client, you're doing this for yourself, I'm going to want to go ahead and jump into the Business Manager so that you can post for your own self. And then what you're going to want to do is just write right here. You just write it. So let's say that we're going to say 5 lies that freelancing schmooroos teach to overcomplicate and confuse you. And then, blah, 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 blah. What I like to do is I actually like to write it in Google document first. And if you're working with clients, you'll likely want to, they'll want to approve what you post before you do it. But you just post it here and then you simply hit publish. Now, the reason you don't boost your post yet is because the key to this method is to write 10 to 20 posts, maybe do 2 a day, right? And all you do is once you post it and you start posting on the regular, we're going to let the organic reach work first. Meaning, from the word go, we are going to start collecting data on what is and isn't working before we spend even $1 a day of our clients' money or our own personal money, okay? So let's assume that I posted it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Insights tab here. And I'm going to come down to Posts on this left-hand side here. And I'm going to come down here. I'm going to hit See More. And what I'm going to do is let's pretend that these are all the posts that I set up, okay? And you can see that I've been running a lot of these on this $1 a day method, and we'll actually in a second later on in this training I'll show you some. We'll take a look at some of these. Okay, so what I'm looking for is I'm just looking for what were posts that did really well organically. Like this one, oh my gosh, 40,000 organic views. This one had 12,000 organic views. So these would be good, right? 1 out of 10 is probably going to be really, really good. Don't worry about whether your posts are getting 40,000 or 12,000. It's all relative. So all you're doing is just what's the highest organic reach that your client is getting as compared to their other posts or the post that you're creating. It doesn't matter, does it have to be 10,000 likes? No, it's all relative. So if your client typically only gets a reach of 10 and then one of the posts gets a reach of 100, that's the post you're going to boost. And you guys, this is how easy it is. And I'm going to walk you through this process. Let's say that we want to boost this post right here. Okay. We're just going to click on this button on the right hand side. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. I don't know if you heard it in the background, but it was going crazy. Okay, so here we are in the. I don't know if you guys could hear it. It was playing on one of these tabs. Anyways, so be careful of that. One of the. So here we are and we're going to boost the post. Here's the first thing that we want to do, and this is the audience that you want to run these posts to. So some of you have probably been like, okay, $1 a day, got it, got the content, but who are we actually showing this to? It's very, very simple. You just go down to here, people who like your page and their friends. And here's why we're going to do this, okay? People who like your page and their friends. What we are doing for $1 a day is that we are using the power of social network connection. Meaning, if I really, really like pizza, my friends probably also like pizza, okay? There's probably some friends in my network who like pizza. So if I happen to like James's Pizza Shop, what's going to happen is when someone runs this $1 a day and the piece of content pops up and one of my friends sees it, what they're going to see at the very top of this particular little post in their news feed. So when they're on Facebook, what they're going to see is it's going to say, James's Pizza Shop, Mike Shreve likes this. And do you remember what I was talking about earlier about how people won't do anything until there's that social component has kind of been checked off the box? Remember the guy who was really sick, heart disease, didn't change his lifestyle until his brother had a heart attack? When you select people who like your page and their friends, what you're doing is you're not only reaching a larger network for your client and hardly any money ad spend at all, but you are automatically including the social component that is so critical to people even being interested in reading the content that you did put together. Now, there's a couple things that I like to do. What I will do is I'll come down here and I'll simply just double check to see who this is. So I will hit edit, and you just want to make sure. So there's a couple things you can do. One is you can, let's say that I only wanted to do this for people in Camas, Washington, which is where my business offices are at. Okay. Now, let's say that I have a physical pizza office, all right, and you're trying to help me set this omnipresence thing up. You're going to want to use the zip codes for everywhere that I am willing to go. Like if my delivery guys only deliver in 98607, or I'm an auto repair shop and I really only want to service people who are, what we can do too is, like, let's say there's a city next to us called Vancouver, Washington. Okay, that's and you can play with like ranges. So I only want to be either Vancouver, Washington, plus everyone who's within 14 miles. That's as far out as we want to do. So just keep that in mind if you're working with businesses who are kind of local. Otherwise, the opposite is if you're working with an online brand, and as long as they ship to wherever you want to go, or as long as they're willing to work with anyone, then you just put, United States, and then you can add these together, right? United Kingdom, you could put Australia, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're a freelancer, for example, and you are doing this for yourself, I'd recommend putting all these on here, to be honest, because it only increases the number of people this will be exposed to. You can, just so that we're all on the same page, you can do something like this, 98607. Let's say that you want to do, for some reason, Camas, but you also wanted to serve, let's see, not Portland, but 97, I think it's 330, Corvallis, Oregon, which is where I went to high school. So you could literally serve, like, maybe if your client had multiple shops, maybe they had one in Corvallis and maybe they had one in Camas, you could just literally just list all of the zip codes where your particular client does business. So that's you edit that audience. You just go ahead and hit save. So let's just pretend we're going to hit save. You come down here, you make sure that this is not checked. You do not want to run promotions on the audience network. It is way too expensive, okay? Then what you want to do is you want to come down here and write your total budget. The first time you run these, so remember, first you post your content and you look at your organic results and you choose the highest performing posts that got the best organic results, okay? Then what you do is you run either a 7 or a 14-day test. I like to do 14 days, but you can do 7. All you have to do is just write $7 here in your total budget, and then you say for the next 7 days, which is you will spend an average of $1 per day, and you come down here, you just double check all of this information that's correct, and you simply hit boost. And that's it. As a matter of fact, let me do this for reals. For actual in the no pants. Just really quick so that you guys can see this whole process. On Canada for now. Okay. Let me just double check to make sure it's good. People who like your page and their friends. Looks like, look for $1, for $1, potentially 470 people are going to see this every single day, right? That's pretty cool if you ask me. I'm going to actually go 14. I'm going to test a 14-day. I prefer to do this. Your clients may not want to even spend $14. If they are willing to spend $14, I recommend $14 because the more data you have, the more accurate your ability to do the next steps will be. Okay, $14, here we go. Bring, and you boost. And that's it. There you go. So you receive the order. There's going to be some stuff like here. There's probably some personal information I don't want you all to be seeing, and we're going to close that. Okay. So you'll get a notification in the email, or your client will get a notification, and you'll know that, okay, boom, this is ready to go. Now what's going to happen, okay? After you do that process, then you come back later, like, give it the 14 days, run all your different promotions, your 10 to 20 different pieces of content, and you don't have to roll them all out at the same time. You can roll out 3 at a time and 5 at a time. Whatever your client is comfortable with doing, just let them know. The slower they allow the process to be, the slower their results will be. Then you come back into Insights. So you click this little button here once you're in a manager. Then you go to promotions, and then here's what you do. You look at the results of your promotion. So we have some results here that I've done. And now what you do is you kill the low performing promotions. Okay. So for example, this one, we spent $100 and we had 4,700 video views. This one, we spent $100 and had 3,240 views. Therefore, this is a better performing post that I would like to continue to run on the $1 per day for more than 100 days. So these were all run for 100 days. Well, this one's only run for 34 days. This one was run for 43 days-ish. This is 100, and then these ones just started today because I'm going to show you some results from those, okay? So as you can see, what I would do is I'd come in here and I'd turn this back on, except instead of it being a 14-day period, maybe I'll set it for a 30-day period or a 60-day period or a 90-day period or a 365-day period, just depending on what I want if I'm doing this, or depending on what my client wants if they're doing this, okay? And this is the whole process, you guys. Make some content, put it on the page organically, see which one wins, then boost it for 7 or 14 days at $1 a day, then figure out which ones of those are actually working the best, and then turn the rest of them off, and then set this for a long-term process, okay? A long-term process, meaning each individual post is a potential salesperson for your company or for your client's company. I want you to think about something here for a second. I turned these on today at the time of this recording, as you can see, May 10th, maybe 3 or 4 hours ago. I've spent 30 cents and 37 cents on each of these. So this is 30 cents, this is 37 cents. It's not even going to reach $1 today. For 37 cents, 45 people 45 people saw my face for 37 cents. For 30 cents, 30 people saw my face. So it's the omnipresence in action. Okay? Now, if you were to sit here and realize, okay, I've got, let's say that every day 100 people, I think it would be safe to say every day 100 people will see my face with this particular post that's being boosted for $1 a day. What if I had 20 of these going at a time? I'm only spending $20 a day, right? Because it's $1 a day per post. But if you're talking about $20 or 20 posts times $1 a day, and we get 100 people seeing us for every $1, you're looking at 2,000 people every single day seeing me front of mind. Now, it's not the same 2,000 people every single day because my Facebook page is getting bigger. It's being shared to people who know nothing about me, but for only $20 a day, right? And this is content that you know really, really works. And then when you layer it with the stories and the offers and the et cetera, for 99% of businesses, this method brings incredible results. Incredible results. Omnipresence is really, really powerful. And because you've watched this training, you can talk to your clients about this stuff. Feel free to use my numbers. Please don't use my screenshots. Please don't say that you did this for me. That would be lying. But feel free to use like my averages. You can say, look, the guy who taught me, he gets 30 people reached for 30 cents, right? 14 people watched the video for 30 cents. That's 14 potential customers for 30 cents. That's pretty dang good, right? Okay, so that is the delivery mechanism. That's the entire process. You guys can 100% do that. You will notice we did not go into Ads Manager at all. Like, we completely stayed out of it. We just use Boost Posts. It's super simple, super simple, and I think you all can do that. Now, I want to recap this, okay, so that we understand the full thing that's going on here. You post your content organically. You measure the most successful of that content. You boost it for 7 days or 14 days if you want for $1 a day. Then you measure your most successful boosts. Then you take those successful boosts and you extend them to 30, 60, 90, or 365-day windows. And then you rinse and repeat, stacking your best content over and over and over again, focusing on that same audience that I showed you, which is people who like the page plus their friends, okay? Because what we're trying to do is we're not trying to go out and find like the people on the fringe. All we want to do is we want to help our customers, our clients, find their best customers and have them either give them repeat business, have them share their stuff with their friend, or bring those people who are maybe on the fence but like their page, etc., have them come into the fold. One of the best ways to increase the profits of a current business is to help them get repeat customers, okay? I mean, yes, bring new customers, but also repeat customers is where you will find the biggest results from this particular process, which is really, really cool, okay? Now, let's talk about, one thing is it's very, very important to remember that only 10% of your posts are likely going to make it to step 5. Maybe 10%. So of the 20, maybe 2 will end up going 30, 60, 90, 365. The cool thing is those other posts are still going to be good for your client's business. They're still going to enjoy it and see results from it. It's just the ones you actually decide to invest in for these long windows, likely maybe 10%. Okay, I want to talk about this stacking process so that you fully understand what's going on. Let's say that you do 5 posts this week for your client. Maybe you only do 1 a week because of how much they're paying you, etc. So you start the first one and the second one and third one and fourth one and fifth one, and you've posted them all and they all do really, really well organically. So you start boosting post number 1, that's going $1 a day. Then you boost post number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and this is essentially what you're looking at, is this stacked effect. So now your client is technically paying $5 a day. So don't go into your client and be like, I'm going to get you tons of results for only $1 a day. It's just, you think of this for you as the provider of this service. Think about this in $1 a day chunks, that essentially you're giving pretend that you're giving someone $1 every single day to go out and talk to 100 people on behalf of your business if you're doing this method for yourself, or on behalf of the client's business if you're doing it for them. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about an advanced delivery method, and we've so far talked about just written content or videos from other people. One of the things that we have found, and you may have noticed if we jump back here, these are all videos. I'm finding that videos are working really, really, really well. And I won't go too into depth, too in depth into this process because I don't. It's a little outside the scope of this free training. But using video to satisfy those 3 areas, right? So especially the enter-teachment content, meaning making videos that teach and entertain. I'm going to give you a very brief overview of how this process works. Those of you who are in the No Pants Coaching Program, you can take this information and apply it to the Facebook ads training that's contained in there. For those of you who are not in that program, you probably don't need to be this advanced anyways. If you have a client who is good on video, or if you are a video editor or videographer and you want to implement video skills, here's what you do. You make enter-teachment videos and you run them to that standard audience that I showed you, the people who like your page plus all of their friends. Okay, that's what you do. These videos should be short, and they should be just teach the heck out of, just tell your client, hey man, teach that, literally, like, okay, and you think, well, what about a pizza shop? What's he gonna do? Have the pizza shop teach how to make pizza, right? Because what's going to happen is people who view that, who love pizza, they're going to be like, this guy knows what he's talking about. Oh my gosh, he has a restaurant? I need to go taste his pizza, right? Okay, so enter-teachment video, whatever that is. You're running, you're doing help with Yoga Pants e-commerce, an e-commerce company or whatever, and they do yoga pants. Maybe the enter-teachment video is about doing yoga poses, right? And then they talk about their yoga pants at the end of the video for like 2 seconds, right? It's not a pitch video. It's literally just enter-teachment video, etc., etc. So you run that to your standard audience. $1 a day, no big deal. Then what you do, yeah, I'm going to show you. I wasn't going to show you guys, but I'm going to show you because it just makes more sense if I actually show you. Okay. Then what you do is you create a watched audience for that specific video, and then you run a customer story video to that audience. So it's 25% watched audience. I'll show you here in a second from the entertainment or enter-teaching video. And then of this video, you create a third retargeting audience, or a second retargeting audience. I do apologize. You run a third ad to that particular audience. Let me just show you. It's going to be a lot easier, okay? So here I go back. Now I am in the Ads Manager. You have to be in the Ads Manager in order for this to work. What I'm going to do is, you can't see it, but on the upper left-hand side of the Ads Manager, there's a little hamburger. You click down to all. You click that hamburger. You click All Tools. Then you go to Audiences, and let this load up. And then you go create audience. We're going to create a custom audience. And we're going to create an engagement audience, and I'll explain why. We're going to click video. And here is what we are doing, okay? Within Facebook, we are saying, dear Facebook, whoever watches this video to a certain point, can you please capture that information so we can share with them a different video that they might like? Okay, so we'll go browse. And what I like to do is, for the first video, meaning the education entertainment video, I'm not even going to call it my own name anymore. I'm over that name. I like to say, if somebody has watched 25% of that video, it should be like a shorter video. If it's under 5 minutes. If it's longer than 5 minutes, just do 10 seconds. But for the most part, keep your videos short anyways. 25% of that video. And the reason is, 3 seconds, don't do that, because if a video audio plays, Facebook counts it. And so that means someone could have literally just scrolled past it and Facebook will count that. 10 seconds to me is, it's not long enough. I want to see somebody who's actually committed to watching the video. 25% of the video. I'm going to go ahead and choose my video here. I will go to our page. Where are we? Make sure you work smarter. And I'll say, okay, what's one that we're running now? Let's do this one. Okay. Perfect. And then I'll hit confirm. And then I will say for the past 7 days, meaning what this is saying is that people who watch 25% of this particular video in the last 7 days are now going to be a particular audience. Okay, and this is a little advanced, so if you're like, what in the heck is he talking about? Don't worry about it. Only do what you can do. You're perfectly fine doing the other stuff I've already taught you, but this is for those of you who want like crazy results for yourself or your client. Then I would just say, I'd call this like 25%. What was this video? And I'd simply hit this. Go next. And then I'd create an ad. Now, the ad that I would create, we can actually go ahead and do this because I got something else to show you all too. The ad that I would create is, now think about this. Let's look at this again and think about it. What we're doing now is we're going to now show the people who watch 25% of this video, we're going to show them a customer story video. Now, why would we do that? Because if they watch 25% of this, likely they're passionate about what we're talking about, which means they're passionate about the stuff that we can help them with, either us or our client, whatever their business is. And by following up with a customer story, what we do is we help them start to build trust. That we're not just some rando person on the internet putting out garbage and blah, 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 whatever, like we're just pulling stuff out of thin air. With customer story videos, we're proving to them that what they just watched is real. So what we want to do is if anyone's watched an Entertainment video of ours in the past 7 days, so any of the past 7 days, we want to retarget them. We want to show them a customer story video within that 7-day time frame, while things are still fresh, while they still recognize us and remember us, like, oh, I remember I watched that video. Okay, and all we do is we would just create our ad here, and we'd go to video views, right? Because that's what we're looking for. We'd give it a name. I'm not going to give it a name right now. You'd give it an ad set name here. I'm not going to do that. And you'd see this is the audience, right? So now when we build this ads, and now we're in Ads Manager, that's why I'm saying this is the advanced stuff. Then we would be showing this second video, the customer story video, only to people who had watched 25% of that secret weapon video. We would repeat this process for people who watched that customer story video, except in this case, we'd go ahead and use the 10-second option. If you remember back when I was making that custom audience, you could choose the 10-second option, and then we would simply retarget everyone who watched 10 seconds of this customer story. We would hit them with the offer post, where we're literally just saying, sign up for this offer. Okay? Whew. Got it? All right. Now, again, if you're in the No Pants Project coaching program, reach out to us if you want to do this for yourself or for others. For everybody else, this is a little advanced. You would likely need some coaching. Don't worry about this if you can't do it. Maybe learn some more Facebook ads somewhere else until you feel comfortable that you could do this. But this is a very, very powerful method. There's a reason that we do it this way, not just text, for the No Pants Project, which is a very competitive, is a business that takes place in a very competitive market. So we have to do these sort of advanced type stuff. If you're running something for like a pizza guy, he may say this is a very competitive market, but most local type business stuff is not nearly as competitive online as purely online businesses. Now I'm going to show you one more thing, and then we're going to talk about how to get clients with everything that I've shown you and what to charge and all that kind of good stuff. So I want to show you how to use these methods to make your client or even yourself famous. Now, what do I mean by famous? What I mean is I'm going to show you literally, if you want to get it onto the Oprah Winfrey Network, I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. One thing that can benefit your client tremendously is press and third-party, affirmations, or sort of people endorsing you who have authority themselves, right? Now, this is not the same as a celebrity endorsement, but for example, let's say that, again, let's talk about the pizza shop, okay? So the pizza shop owner might use the method I'm about to show you to get herself featured in an article in the local newspaper, okay? And then what you do is you take that local newspaper feature article and you run that as a customer success story, right? Now you think to yourself, Mike, that's not really a customer success story, and that's okay. The customer success story, really, we're just sort of looking for like story-based stuff. Customer testimonials are the best, obviously, but there's all sorts of different things you can run and test and all that kind of stuff. Or for example, let's say they're a pizza shop and you do this method I'm about to share with you, and they're featured on the Food Network. Holy cow! Right? Imagine running a blog post where they have like a 30-second segment on the Food Network with maybe it's like with like, I don't know, Guy Ferrari or something, right? Like some kind of pizza shoppy type thing. And they, imagine if you're sitting there thinking about where should we go for pizza, and all of a sudden on your Facebook, while you're just sitting there lurking on Facebook, right, probably chatting with your girlfriend or something, and you're like, hey, where should we go for pizza? And then all of a sudden this dude pops up and he's like, I'm a local guy 2 minutes from your house, and I was on the Food Network. You can't help it. Your brain is just wired to look at that and be like, oh my gosh, this guy is legit. He probably makes really, really good pizza if he was able to get on the Food Network. The reality is how he got on the Food Network is this right here. Okay, we're going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hop back here for a second, and I'm going to pretend like we are creating a new ad. So again, this is advanced. Remember I told you the last thing was advanced. The first stuff we've been talking about is basic. This is advanced. This is so advanced that I would recommend charging an extra fee to do this for your particular clients. We'll talk about pricing here in a second. What you're going to do is create a new ad that is simply for engagement. So you just want people to like, share, etc. for engagement, okay? You just want post engagement. You don't want page likes, you don't want event responses. Give it a name, whatever. Hit continue. What you want to do is go ahead and you don't want that audience. What you're looking to do is this, okay? Let me give you the overview. We are going to be targeting important people in important companies, and we're going to be showing them your client's best stuff, or your best stuff if you're trying to get a certain company to hire you as a freelancer, okay? Now, what I recommend is before you get to this process right here, okay, that you let some of these that you've been stacking run for a while so that there's lots of social engagement on those posts. You want a lot of likes, you want a lot of loves, you want a lot of comments. And the reason is because by the time you come in here and you start showing these, the big wigs at Oprah, they want to see that you're not just some Joe Schmo. Okay, or that your client isn't just some random guy. They want to see that, he's got customers, there's comments and likes and shares and all that kind of good stuff. You want to show as put your best foot forward in this particular instance. Now, how you're going to do this is very, very simple. You come down here and you go to detailed targeting and you click browse and you go to demographics. And we are going to go to work, and there's two things that we're looking for, employers and job titles. Watch this. Employers. I'm going to type in Oprah. Oops. The Oprah Winfrey Network. And let's say that I want Oprah to hire me. Okay? With me and my freelancing superpowers. So I'm going to try and show myself to all of the people in the marketing department. Anyone who has any of these potential names. Marketing officer, marketing consultant. Maybe let's try PR. Okay. Now, what I'm going to be doing when I complete this ad, and to learn how to complete this ad, either if you're in the No Pants Project program, you guys know how to finish an ad. If you're not, learn how to finish an ad. And what you'll do here is identify who is important within a company who could do something for your client. And again, we are not trying to create an ad that's like, hey, hire me, I'm a freelancer. We're just showing them content, okay? That's really, really important. We're just showing them content, okay? And so what I would do is I would try and show my content, so for my freelancing business, about how I know how to grow businesses, how I know how to, add $1 million per year to pretty much any business that I've ever worked with, et cetera, et cetera. Give them my, my education / teaching / entertainment posts. I would show them my customer stories and all that kind of good stuff. And I would even show them my offer, all at $1 per day, because these audiences aren't very big. And I would do that for everyone I think would be cool to work with, right? So for example, maybe I also want to work for Disney. Let's see. So you want to make sure that you're looking for the employer, Disney employer. And then let's look for Disneyland. I saw that one. That was cool. I don't even know if that would be separate, but let's toss it in there. Disneyland. So now not every employer is going to be on here, obviously. Let's see. Starbucks is probably on here, right? Starbucks as an employer. Okay, sweet. And I want all of the chief marketing officers and anybody who's in marketing communications, and anybody who's marketing officer. I wonder if they've got marketing assistant. Yeah, here we go. Assistant marketing manager. Marketing assistant. So here's just look at all these potential people who, if they're sitting in a meeting one day and they're like, man, we need to do something online. We need to put a course on how to run Disneyland online. Who can we bring in? These people who are sitting in that meeting are going to turn to each other and they're going to be like, there's this guy that we keep seeing online all the time. Who is, what would I be doing? I'm practicing omnipresence, right? I am the most convenient. I'm a trusted friend because probably some of these people have taken my content because they see it all the time, and they may have said something really smart in their meeting because they just repeated what I said. So they value me as a trusted friend, and I'm easy because I'm there and I'm available, right? So what you have to do is you have to kind of think, if you're doing this for yourself, that's great. Who do you need to get in contact with? Do you need to get in contact with the art director, right? If you're a designer of some kind, let's go down here, job title, creative art director. Do you need to get in touch with, who do you need to get in touch with depending on what it is that you do? Make sure that you have that in here as well. List all the different companies you want to work with and all that kind of good stuff. dollar a day. Everything else is the same. This is just a new audience that you would be running your dollar a day stuff to, and only your best stuff after it's gone through the organic process, after it's gone through the boosting process, and after it's gone at least 30 to 60 days so that you've got comments and stuff, then you run it to these companies and these particular job titles. And then what you'll find is that these people will start commenting on your stuff. And one of these days, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be in 2 weeks, it may not be in 6 months, but eventually you keep running that dollar per day and someone's going to send you an email. Hey, my name is whatever, Sarah, and I work for Disney, and I'd love to talk to you about something I saw you post the other day. And how do I know this is possible? Because one of my favorite clients I ever got, which turned into a $16,000 per month retainer, came to me exactly that way. What had happened is I was taking a 3-month break from my freelancing business just to be completely, just turn everything off and take a break and live off the money I was already, all that kind of good stuff. And I got an email from the president of this particular company, and it was like my dream company, whose stuff had changed my life when I was homeless, and I was targeting them through this particular method, just $1 a day with my stuff. And he sends me an email and he says, hey, are you available for work? We loved your stuff. We are I just had a meeting and we're looking for someone who can write copy really, really fast. I've seen some of your stuff. You said you write it really fast. Are you available for a phone call? And that was it. $16,000 a month, retainer, amazing, incredible, wonderful, awesome result. You can deliver these results for yourself. You can also deliver them for your client, okay? But it requires, I'm going to give you one last little tip here. It requires you to be able to create saved audiences, okay? So learn how to create saved audiences for those of you who are in the No Pants Project program. It's this simple, actually. I'm just going to teach you guys right now. Screw it. And then you just save it as, watch this, audience name is going to be, let's just call it Oprah and Disney. Okay, boom. And then what you do is, let's go back to this and let's go back to posts. Okay, I'm in insights here within the my Facebook page. Let's pretend we're going to boost this post. I'm going to boost it. And then instead of running this post to this, right, people who like your page and their friends, or maybe maybe you're already running this post to this audience, but now you want to start showing it to Oprah and Disney because you have a bunch of comments and likes, you just click it here. Okay? And you can still run it for $1 a day. You cannot do dollar per day ads within the ads manager. The only way to run $1 per day is to boost a post. So if you want to do more than $1 a day, that's fine. You can do that. I think the minimum these days is 5 or 10. I don't actually even know what the minimum is. But I do know the only way to get $1 a day is here through Boost Post. There is, of course, another way to do this, to create these audiences, and it is when you're in your boosting post process, you simply click Create New Audience. And that's it, my friends. This is such a powerful process if you follow it step by step. It requires the testing phase. It requires writing a bunch of stuff, seeing what works, boosting it, getting social proof, and then showing it to your dream clients. And I'm talking about big dream clients are right here. Okay, now let's talk about how to get clients with this method and what to charge. Here's the easy part. How to get clients with this method? You literally just do this for yourself. So rewatch this video as many times as you need to set this up for yourself and start learning how to build omnipresence for yourself as a freelancer. Okay, it's really simple and it's unbelievably inexpensive. If you are in the No Pants Project program, you guys know about building your lighthouse. My recommendation is, if you want this to just explode, okay, because remember I told you that I used this method to basically make myself famous with my dream client. This dream client was also on my email list because what I did is this. My offer post was simply sign up for my Lighthouse. So I had the video teaching, then I had some customer story results, then I said sign up for my Lighthouse. So for those of you who are in the MPP, think about the daily email that I teach, right? And think about everything you just learned right here about omnipresence. Why do you think the daily email works? Because it amplifies omnipresence. If you are someone who I can help and you're involved in the No Pants Project world, you're getting the daily email from me and you're seeing my stuff all over Facebook, although we're not doing a very good job of omnipresence with the No Pants Project. And that's actually because I'm trying to slow down the growth of No Pants Project right now. This was not meant to be as wildly successful as it has been, and so I'm trying to slow down the growth a little bit. But if you were to do this process, for those of you who are inside the No Pants Project program and learning about the daily email and doing the setting up your Lighthouse, this process will guarantee high quality leads. And I don't guarantee a lot of stuff because people can mess things up, but you could mess this up and you'll still get incredibly good high quality leads for $1 plus $1 plus $1 per day. And by the time they get on your email list, they are like primo leads, okay? And by the way, you can repeat this entire process multiple times, right? So you could have this process for like 6 different enter-teachment videos, all being retargeted with the same customer story, or if you don't have customer stories, then just retarget them with your offer post, right? Which would be, hey, sign up for my Lighthouse. So lots of cool stuff you can do here. Anyways, so how do you get clients with this method? You literally just use this method to go get clients, right? You figure out who your client is, how you want to serve them, and then you start running this process. For yourself. You become omnipresent in your particular area, helping the people that you want to help. Okay, now we need to talk about something very, very important, and it is what to charge. Now I'm going to go back through this process, and I'm going to break it down by what we talked about, okay? So there are basically 5 different steps, and each step of the process represents a fairly significant amount of work. This right here, I recommend charging a flat rate for, okay? So whatever that flat rate is comfortable for you, that should take you the first 15 days, okay? You should be able to knock this out in 15 days for a client, all right? These posts don't have to be long, they don't have to be big. So I'd say something, I don't know, between $300 and $500 to start, okay? Then the rest of this process, posting and analyzing and boosting, that is a monthly fee, okay? Because you're going to repeat this process over and over and over again. So you say it's $500 to get these 10 to 20 pieces, let's just say, and adjust this for your freedom number. So those of you who are in the No Pants Project coaching program, you guys know about the freedom number and how to properly price based off of that freedom number. For everybody else, just try your best, figure out a good price for this process, but make sure that it's paid up front and it's a single one-off payment so that they can own the rights to the content you create, regardless of whether they continue on into a monthly. And then the monthly is anywhere from $500 a month to $1,000 a month, okay? Just not depending on how good you are at sales, but depending on how much the value is you bring if this is successful, or more likely, when this is successful. So for example, if you're doing this for a plastic surgeon, when someone walks in the door, you're talking about $25,000. This guy's going to make 25 grand, okay? If you're doing this for a pizza shop, somebody walks through the door, they maybe are selling dollar slices, right? So you can't charge the pizza guy the same amount that you would charge the plastic surgeon because the results you get them are financially very different. But just know that there is a monthly fee associated with this particular service. And it includes 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? This entire process. And you do it over and over and over again. You communicate with the client and say, We're going to make little $1 per day salespeople. My goal is to make as many of them as I possibly can, because when they work, they make you money. So let's make as many of these as possible. Let's send out an army of little salespeople, $1 a day, kind of, making their little web on the interwebs and connecting with people and showing them all this cool stuff. And then you need to agree with your client on sort of what their upper limit is. Okay. So do they want to get to 50 per day? Could you imagine having 50 of these $1 per day things going at a time, being as effective as they are, especially if you're doing the video and the retargeting pieces for maximum result. But imagine if there's 50 of these out on the interwebs going to that particular audience. Just the tremendous amount of results that you'd be able to see. Now, of course, it might take 3 to 6 months to get to 50 that you're organically posting and then are getting through that sort of gauntlet and qualifying to be boosted, and then of the boosted ones, the high performing. So it'll take a while to get to 50, but imagine if you were a company who had 50 little salespeople all out there working for you like that. Okay, so it's important that you break it up into those two sections, so the upfront and then the monthly. And then when you are talking to prospective clients about this process, do not explain to them this process, not because you're trying to hide anything. If they want to know, let them know. But as confused as you might feel right now, they're going to feel 1,000 times more confused because they don't want to know the details. Instead, talk about it like we talked about it up here. Talk about that you are going to make them the most convenient option for customers, their dream customers. That you are going to give them the power of being everywhere all the time. That you're going to allow them to be the easiest option to their potential customers. And that you are going to set them up and establish them as a familiar friend. And the way that you are going to do this is by using data-driven content, which you will create, and Facebook's targeted reach. And you can say, like, call it omnipresence, steal my language. Like, use everything that you've just learned here to pitch it in the way that they can fully understand, okay? And I want you to remember something here. It is worth lightly explaining this piece of what you're going to do. You say, I'm going to write some posts. We're going to put it up organically. We're going to see which ones are the best ones. Then we're going to boost them for $1 a day. And then from there, we're going to take the best ones and we're going to boost them for long term, and use the example of creating quality salespeople for $1 a day that'll work 24 hours a day. They'll never complain, and they could reach potentially 100 people per day, and your client has to do nothing. And when you speak it in that manner, the pain that you're going to be solving is twofold. One, every business owner suffers massive anxiety about where is my next sale coming from. I promise you, there isn't a business owner out there who doesn't have some nights a week just laying there thinking, oh my gosh, I hope this doesn't just dry up all of a sudden, right? So that's the first one. And that's a massive anxiety. That's a real anxiety. That's a need, right, that you can solve. And the second one is the second pain that a lot of people have is that this online stuff is really, really confusing. And it's complicated, and everyone wants to charge me a ridiculous amount of money, and I don't see how any of this is going to work. With this particular model and method, you will have, okay, let's just jump down here real quick. Each one of these is its own mini case study for your client. Meaning, every time someone comments and likes or shares, there's a cascade effect to it in the eyes of your client. Meaning, if you've got 10 or 15 of these running at a time at $1 a day, your client's only paying $15 a day, which is like, really cheap advertising for most companies. 15 of these sprinkled around, 15 little salespeople going out and having these conversation, quote unquote conversations, and sharing customer success stories and teaching them all this cool stuff and offering all these good things. And your client will be able to very quickly see, oh my gosh, this is working. because there is like, he or she could log into his into their Facebook account and see the comments, see the likes, see the shares, not to mention see the increase in sales and loyalty and all these other things. And so this is why this is one of my favorite services to offer up front, meaning if you're familiar with the No Pants coaching model, we have appetizers, main courses, desserts. If you're not familiar with that, basically, if you just offer one service, you're going to crash and burn very quickly. Most of your profits come from the back end. So this upfront service, I love it because it's a recurring, you get monthly income, which is beautiful and wonderful, and it's between $500 and $100 a month. But also, it's a very impressive service, meaning it's kind of very dazzly. It's hard as a business owner not to be excited about people sharing and liking and commenting on your stuff. Like, you get a rush of adrenaline, you get very excited. And so if you're the business owner, and let's say you come to me and you say, we're going to do this $1 a day thing, and I'm like, okay, let's give it a shot. And all of a sudden I'm getting these notifications on my Facebook. I'm going to think you're a genius. I'm going to think you are incredible and amazing and you can help me, and I'm just going to start listening to you because of everybody I've ever hired. You finally got me some results. Okay? And it's at that point when this starts to happen that you come back and you say, look, this is the easy basic stuff. Okay? I can help you get even more results by, you're a videographer, by coming to your office and let's cut some like 2-3 minute videos together for teachment videos. The results you're getting now will explode once we have these videos. You're a photographer. Let me come to your office and let me take a bunch of photos of the party that's happening for the little leaguers who are getting their trophies, and so that we can use it and implement it into this process. And all of these services you're charging for. You're charging in addition to this baseline service. You're a copywriter. Hey, I have a really good idea. Let's give away an ebook in exchange for their emails. Let's build a lighthouse together, just like I recommend that you do if you are a freelancer. You could do this for somebody else, and that is an additional service. So there is so many branches off of this core base service that you can offer to build out your service ladder. Now, there are some of you who are not designers, who are not videographers, who are not copywriters, who are not web developers and programmers and things like that. And unfortunately for you, this service in general just isn't really terribly applicable. So for example, if you are a person who helps gardeners build their garden, you can use this method to get clients, so people who want to become gardeners, but you are not going to be able to do this service for people who want to become gardeners, meaning you running $1 a day to help them develop omnipresence doesn't help them grow tomatoes. Does that make sense? So you have to be able to come into this and say, okay, I'm going to build a business around helping other businesses grow, and this is the starter service that I will use to do so. Okay? So, my good friends, that is it. This is the training. This is all the training that you need, okay? For those of you who are in our various programs, I will make sure that we post this into the No Pants Project program and into the No Pants Academy. I'm not going to put it in 45-day challenge or fast client getting workshop, and I'm going to send this out to everyone on our email list, and it will be up for a very, very short time. Let's say 2 weeks, okay? So please watch this video. Watch it again if you have to. This should be hosted on YouTube, so you can 2x it, so meaning you can fast forward it. And I want you guys to get all the information that you possibly can, but then I am going to take it down, because if I just give this away for free, there's just going to be a ton of people doing it. And I want to make sure, that we don't oversaturate our own market. So it will be up for 2 weeks for everyone for free, and then it will be inside the No Pants Project for people who pay for that, and inside the No Pants Academy for people who pay for that as well. Okay, my good friends, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this training. If you did, please do let us know. Reply to the email. I'm always looking for ways to better serve you guys. If this is the kind of stuff that you love and enjoy, I love teaching it. I have a really good time. Holler if you have any questions inside the No Pants Project. Our coaches are there to help you. I'm sure they're going to dive right into this stuff. I will be there to answer questions on our Q&As. Pete and Kate are also familiar with this particular method, and they can help you on their Q&As as well. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Please, please, please do something about this information. It costs you exactly $1 a day to test this for your own self, meaning to get clients with it for yourself. And for those of you who are a little apprehensive about doing this for clients, what I recommend is do it for yourself first. Do it for yourself first to attract a client. If it works, if a client says yes, and you're like, wow, this is incredible, then by definition, you know how to get results with this process. Okay? All right, my friends, I love you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, amazing rest of your day and weekend, and I'll see you around.